Kathleen Drew asks, I hear so much these days about needing to take daily vitamins to ensure that we can get all of our required nutrients. And even if we eat a balanced and varied diet, it might be difficult to get what is needed. I'd like to know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, it is, again, to my sadness, we don't have the same nutrients we had in the past. There's a wonderful book by Jo Robinson, Eating on the Wild Side, and she's one of the country's experts on pastured beef. And many years ago, she thought, there's a missing piece. If we're having this really good quality protein, what about the other nutrients that we get from the plants that work with that make that a complete balanced diet? And she started doing some research. She's up in Washington State, I think Vashon Island. She has a demonstration garden where she was growing some of the more original versions of the fruits and vegetables that we eat now, and just so much more higher in nutrients than what we have available now. Everything is grown to be bigger and grow faster, and even with organics, unfortunately. So we sadly we need that multivitamin to fill in the gaps, little gaps. It's you can call that an insurance, and it's just a way to to fill in. And when folks come to me and they say, I want to get a multivitamin, which one should I get? I say, well, how's your diet? And if they're eating a really healthy diet and it's organic, maybe biodynamic, maybe regeneratively grown, maybe a one a day would just give them that a little extra that they might need. If they're having what I call the Happy Meal diet or a drive-through diet, then I would say maybe you need a 2 or 3 a day multivitamin to make up what you're missing. It all depends on each person, and there's no one size fits all.
Just kind of an aside, but do you have any thoughts on fish oil supplements, omega-3s and stuff like that? That's
the same thing. If I could convince everybody to eat sardines regularly, then we would get. And also, it's not always for example, I'll be in the vitamin aisles in the store here, and somebody will be standing in front of the turmeric section. And because they're obviously they're seeing they have some kind of inflammation and pain, and turmeric is a sexy nutrient for that, and it can be very helpful. So I'll ask them the question I have to ask. Well, what are you eating that's contributing to your inflammatory response that you're having? It's well, I don't know, I want to talk about that, but often it's an eye opener for folks, because when we were hunter-gatherers, and I don't think we've changed so much genetically from then. We had a balance, a 1-to-1 balance of omega-6 to omega-3. And we didn't have all the itises we have now. Maybe we were, a young age, we got eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, but we didn't have arthritis and other itises. Itis on the end means inflammation. And but now our diets are, in a healthy diet might be 20-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3. All the salad oils that we have in our foods, processed foods and baked goods, safflower, sunflower, soy, cottonwood, canola even. So we end up having a lot of omega-6 and not a lot of omega-3. And what do we have? Inflammation. So if we're not eating enough omega-3 rich foods that have particularly the EPA and DHA that you'd find in cold water fish, then we have inflammation, and then we need a supplement to balance that. And for folks that are on plant-based diets, there are algae sources now of the EPA and DHA as well. We can get omega-3 from other sources, from hemp, from flax, from chia, but we don't get the EPA and DHA. That's an important component that we need for cognitive function, and that we need also for having healthy inflammatory balance.
But the algae supplements do contain
They do have that now,
awesome.
They do.
Very cool.
Yeah, so there's options now for folks on plant-based diets.
Nice.
And every so often, I was in a coaching session with somebody the other day, and I said, what would you consider eating sardines? He says, oh my gosh, I used to eat those with my dad whenever we watched football games. I love sardines. I haven't eaten them in years.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, this person already knew that, and already was something that she was excited about eating. Yeah. And a lot of folks will run the other way when I mention that, but
I had sardines yesterday.
Yeah, all right, good man.
You knew I was going to say that.
Makes my nutritional health coach heart feel good that you had.
Yeah, exactly.